Hello, all you pillow people. Welcome back to another episode of Pillowcast. And today we're going to be doing another album review. And before we get into the album review, I just want to say, first of all, I had like a 10-second cough before I did this take. I tried recording it like literally right before I recorded this take, and I coughed, and it sucked really bad. That sucked. Anyways, and second thing is, my phone this is kind of a weird way that I'm recording this episode because my charger port on my phone isn't working very well, and so what I'm doing is I'm setting it up on this cordless charger, so it's like a little pod thing, and you set your phone on it and it charges it. It's a little cheap thing, but it works, so I'll be using that for a while until I can figure out what's wrong with my phone. But anyways, let's hop right into this. Oh, by the way, I'm assuming that it's something because I accidentally got water in the charger port because I was washing my hands and a little bit of water got into the charger port. I don't know how that happened. But, well, yeah, I do know how it happened because I washed my hands and the bottom of the phone fell into the water. But whatever. We're not talking about that. So yeah, we're not going to be talking about that. Yeah, like I said, today is another album review. We're going to be breaking down and reviewing the Pearl Jam album, Vitalogy. And the reason I'm doing Vitalogy over, like, 10 or Versus or, like, Yield or whatever, is because Vitalogy is my favorite Pearl Jam album. And I figured, I have a lot of positive things to say about it, and I figured if y'all want to get into Pearl Jam, I don't think this is the album to start out with when you're just getting into Pearl Jam. That's probably 10, but I do think Vitalogy is a really good album, and if you're just going through the albums, I think that this one will definitely hit you by surprise. It's a really, really interesting experience. There's a lot of experimental stuff on here, a lot of rock stuff, ballads, and this is a really, really good album. So we're going to hop right into it. So it was the third album by Pearl Jam, released in 1994, and it was the follow-up to their sophomore release, at least I think it was sophomore. Isn't sophomore second album? I'm pretty sure it's second album. The follow-up to their sophomore album, Versus, which followed up 10. So 10 and Versus are really successful. How they're going to follow it up. This album took a while to record. The band had a lot of turmoil going on in the studio while they were recording this album. It's actually surprising that this album even got released or completed even. But it got completed, and I'm really happy that it did because I love this album, and it's great. So the tracks that we're going to be reviewing today are Last Exit, Spin the Back Circle, Not For You, Tremor Christ, Nothing Man, Whipping, Pride 2, Corduroy, Bugs, Satan's Bed, Better Man, I never know how to pronounce this. Is it I.E. Devanita or I. Devanita? In the song, I think they say I.E. Devanita, so I'm going to say I.E. Devanita. I.E. Devanita, Immortality, and Hey Foxy Mop, Handle Mama, That's Me, but everyone calls it that stupid mop because every time you list a song, no one's going to say Hey Foxy Mop, Handle Mama, That's Me. They're going to say stupid mop. So yeah, let's hop right into this, and so before we get into this, I'm going to be using my CD copy of the Vitalogy album for reference. I bought this, and it's an original copy, so it's like in the book form. So if you guys haven't picked up the Vitalogy, the original copy of the Vitalogy album, it doesn't have any of the extra bonus tracks on it, or the alternate versions. It just has the regular songs, obviously, and it's like a book, and it's like a science book. It's really cool, and all the lyrics are written in like really, really like cryptic ways. It's really, really interesting. If you want like the full Vitalogy experience, like reading the lyrics and stuff from the actual like CD copy, the original was a really, really good thing to do. But yeah, let's hop right in with the lead-off song, or I almost said lead-off single, but we'll talk about that as in that's the next song. The opening track on Vitalogy, it's called Last Exit. So when I first heard the album, I'm listening through it, Last Exit never really stood out to me, and it still really doesn't, but I've grown to like it a lot more. The chorus is really like, it just kind of gets stuck in your head. Na, 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 na. And it's just the rhythm of that, it kind of gets stuck in my head. The opening riffs and stuff, I like the lyrics and the vocals, and I like the end. You guys can hear my dogs barking in the background. I'm deeply sorry about that. I have 2 dogs, and they're very, very crazy. And I like how at the end, how it just abruptly stops after, oh my goodness! Okay, guys, I'm definitely sorry about that. But yeah, so, Last Exit, I like how it ends with just abruptly after Eddie says, Last Exit, and then it ends, and that's the intro song. And I do think that Pearl Jam are really good at, coming up with good intro songs. Example being Go from Versus, one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs, and I'm really, really happy about that. And I'm happy that I heard the song, because that was one of the first songs in Versus I heard. Because what I do with albums is I look for some of the more hit songs, and I listen to them. But, they have really, really good openers, And Last Exit's another great example of that. Short, simple, sweet song gets you right into the album. And then we get with some really punk-hitting stuff with the lead-off single from this album, Spin the Black Circle. This is one of my favorites off the album, definitely. Because I'm a big Green Day fan, and I like, Blink-182 and stuff like that, and like the fast-paced punk kind of sound. And this song really, really brings that out. The song is about playing a record, so, that also kind of resonates with me, because I'm a big vinyl geek, and, I relate with this song a lot, because it's great. And, it kind of reminded me of the song Deep from the album 10, because, see this needle, see my hand, and then Deep, it's, but he sinks the needle deep. And at first, when I first heard it, I thought it was about, the same stuff as, Deep was, where it's about a drug addict. But no, it's about playing a record. It's a super wholesome topic, but it's very fast-paced and aggressive song, and I love the chorus, where it's just spin the black circle. And I really, really like how Eddie sings that. Just that line, spin the black circle. It's great. And at the end, it's like, spin the black, spin the black, spin the black. And it kind of goes out. It kind of has a seizure at the end, pretty much. It kind of reminds me of the song Territorial Pissings from Nevermind, which me and Hunter talked about. How Kurt just kind of, screams at the vocals, and he's, having a seizure on the mic. That's kind of what, the ending of Spin the Black Circle reminds me of, except it's kind of, a whole lot less that. You can still understand what Eddie's saying. Side note, a lot of people say that they can't understand Kurt Cobain, Eddie Vedder's vocals and stuff, all the big grunge singers from the 90s and stuff. And, I've never had a problem with it. There's been, a few lines where I've had to look it up and stuff. But, other than that, I've never had a problem with understanding Kurt or Eddie's vocals. I think they're very clear, especially Eddie's. I mean, if you had to choose one that sounds a little bit harder to hear, definitely Kurt. But Eddie's voice is clear as day. And, whatever. I guess in some songs like Save You from Riot Act, it's kind of he's a little bit muffled. And maybe Do the Evolution because of the filter that's on it. But whatever. He's a great vocalist. So yeah, we're getting into the next song, which is Not For You. I believe this was a single too, if I'm correct. I don't know if it was a single or not, but I'm pretty sure it was. This is one of my least favorite songs of the album. And I know it was a single. It's one of the bigger songs. It's on some of their greatest hits compilations and things. But I never liked it. I never did. First of all, it's one of those songs that's really long. I think it kind of starts... I'm going to make a few comparisons with Vitalogy to No Code, which is the album right after it. I'm going to make a lot of comparisons. Well, I don't know if it's going to be a lot, but I'll make comparisons right here. I do think that the album No Code is kind of a sequel to Vitalogy. And, the reason that I say that is because they're very similar albums just in terms of aesthetic. The cover the cover of No Code is very similar to, the booklet at the inside of Vitalogy, where it's, a bunch of, medical pictures and, eyeballs and stuff. And it's really, really cool. And I like the finish that's on the front cover of Vitalogy and same thing on No Code, which I really like. And also on this album, Vitalogy and No Code, they both have two long songs, and one long song and one short song, which I think kind of connects them. Especially considering, I'm not saying that they didn't do this on other albums, but I'm saying that since these are the two albums that are right next to each other in the discography, this kind of makes sense. So on Vitalogy, the long song is Not For You, and the short song is Pry To, and then on No Code, the long song is Off He Goes, and the short song is Lucan. So it's kind of interesting. I've made that connection, and when I went into No Code, I kind of just envisioned that as a Vitalogy sequel. That's just me, though, because No Code didn't really stand out to me as an album when I first looked at the track listing and the album cover, and I'm just like, this album doesn't look that appealing. I love it now, but when I go back and when I first delved into it, I just didn't think it was going to be that good of an album. And so I kind of put with it Vitalogy, which is my favorite Pearl Jam album, and I kind of listened to it. And I listened to it in the context that it's a Vitalogy sequel. And it kind of and this is kind of interesting for me because Stupid Mop is kind of to me, a little interlude between No Code and Vitalogy. Because the song right after, if you were going in chronological order in the albums, not including singles and whatnot, the last song after Stupid Mop is the first song on No Code. So it would go Stupid Mop, and then Sometimes, which if you know Sometimes, it's a very quiet song. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting. I've just made that connection. It'd be cool if I might make a little intertwined edition of like Vitalogy and No Code. And a lot of people put together like Versus and Vitalogy, but they're like completely different albums. I might do an album review of Versus for season 2 because I already have I'm actually very proud of this to have all the ideas for season 1. The rest of the episodes for season 1 already mapped out and everything, so make sure to look out for the rest of the episodes. I have them all planned out. But I'll definitely be doing either a Versus or a 10 review for season 2. But yeah, back to Not For You. So yeah, this isn't really one of the songs that I enjoy that much. It's long, but I mean, Pearl Jam has a good thing with their songs and albums and whatnot. Well, they'll kind of make it like long, but they'll stop it at the right point. Like a song like Jeremy, where it has that little breakdown section at the end, and even songs like Alive, where the guitar solo is not too long, but it's also not too short either. They kind of stop it right in the middle, and they know exactly when the song is too long or too short, and I think that's great. Even in some of their longer songs, like Not For You, which I'm talking about right now, haha, they do know when to stop it at the right time, and I think that if it went on for a little too long, it would have dragged on. And I do think I like the chorus. It's not one of my favorite choruses on the album. It definitely gets grating after a while, and I don't really like it that much. Not you! This is not for you! And like, I don't like it that much. It kind of drags, and I don't know. The chorus isn't one of my favorites on this album, but I mean, Not For You is not a bad song. It's just never connected with me like some of the other songs. So after that, we get Tremor Christ. Oh my goodness, poppers! So the next song is Tremor Christ. And the title already stood out to me. It's a very interesting title. And, I like the guitars. They're kind of like jabby. They go, there, 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 there. And I really, really like that. It immediately makes the song feel unique. Not only is the title unique, but it kind of adds a little bit more uniqueness to the song from just those jabs. And I like the line, Little Secrets Tremors, because one, it kind of implies the title. And I like how Eddie sings, like, Little Secrets Tremors. And I like how he sings it, really. It's one of the more unique songs on the album. I mean, there are a few other unique songs, I guess you could say full songs on this album, which I'll be talking about. It's track 9, if you guys know the Vitalogy track listing. But, yeah, Tremor Christ, very, very unique song. Definitely one of my favorites on this album. Yeah. So, we get to our first ballad on this album. I mean, I kind of like in this album, it's kind of where they have 2 fast-paced songs at the beginning and 2 kind of mellowed-out songs in the middle. There's first 2 fast songs, Last Exit and Spin the Black Circle. And then your mellow songs, Not For You and Tremor Christ. And then we get into our first ballad here, which is Nothing Man. Oh my goodness, this song hits, dude. This song is very, very emotional. It's about a man who he didn't treat his lover right, left him, and, he's a nothing man, pretty much, is what the song's about. It's really, really touching. It's one of those songs, it kind of gives me nostalgia, which is kind of weird because I don't really have any memories associated with it. But it's the opening guitar of the and it kind of brings out that summer nostalgic feeling, if you get what I mean. I really, really just connected with this song immediately after I heard it. The chorus is great too. Nothing Man! Very easy to sing along to. It's one of the more iconic songs off the album and one of my favorite songs off this album. I cannot get enough of this song. If I'm scrolling through the track listing of this album, one of the first songs I'll choose to listen to always is Nothing Man. Amazing song. And then we get into one of the fastest songs on the album, Whipping. Oh my gosh, I love this song. I love the song. There's so many songs in this album that are like alike, but they're different at the same time. Like Spin the Black Circle and Whipping, very, very fast-paced punk kind of sounding songs, but they're really, really good. I like the melody in the chorus, how Eddie delivers the vocals, and then how it goes into whipping, and it's just like he's singing it very quietly, and he kind of like elongates the word whipping, and it's very unique in terms of the chorus and how it kind of shines. And what's really cool is every single song in here is kind of unique in its own way. And I think it's one of the first albums I've actually seen where each song kind of like feels like a different song. Okay, that sounded stupid, but you get what I mean. They each are unique in their own way. If you listen to, I'm just gonna bring up a modern pop album, or whatever you say, they all kind of follow the same kind of formula, you know what I mean? Stuff that'll get them a number 1 hit. This album is kind of different with each song, and it kind of stays true to itself, and it's very experimental in the way that it approaches things, and new concepts, and I really think that's, a really good part, a big part of why I enjoy this album so much over other albums like Versus. Because Versus, it didn't really try a lot of new things. It was kind of just 10 downgraded a bit and kind of a little more rough sounding in terms of the lyrics and things, and love the concepts. I mean, it wasn't that mainstream of an album, if you get what I mean. And Vitalogy is a little more polished, but it's a lot more conceptual in terms of its ideas, which I really, really enjoy, and Whipping is a great example of this great song. So that's the first section of the album, according to the CD booklet. That's Division 1. And then Division 2 starts off with the interlude, which I consider an interlude called Pry 2, which is the short song on the album. Not really much to say here. It's only a minute long. It's just a few, like, a bit of Eddie vocalizing, and then there's some guitar in the background. Pretty much this is interlude track, which, yeah. Interlude track, don't really have anything bad or good to say about it. It's just an interlude track, which I can't really complain about. So yeah, and then we get into one of the bigger hits on the album, Corduroy, which this song didn't really stand out to me that much on the album. Never really stood out to me. This is probably one of my least favorites on the album, if I'm being completely honest. It just never clicked with me. The breakdown section, perfect. That was one of the moments on the album that kind of made my jaw drop. I liked that, but then this goes right back to the da na 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 da na da na. It goes right back to the chorus. I never cared for Corduroy that much. Really, it's a good song, but I mean, it just kind of never connected with me as it has with some other people. I do like the fuzzy intro though, really, really cool. So now we're going to go on to Bugs, which is track 9, which I mentioned earlier. This song is something. This song is really something. There's not really a sentence that I can use to describe Bugs or even a word, but if I had to choose one, achy. I can't think of anything really. Stank. Okay, that's where I'm going to use stank. It doesn't really have a set rhythm. It's kind of, I don't know if this is meant to be an interlude or an afterword after Corduroy, or if it's just supposed to be an actual song on the album, which I hope it wasn't intended to be that. But it's this harmonica and really, really weird. It's the same da 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 da, and it kind of just repeats that throughout the whole song. The song's funny, and it does kind of add to the conceptual idea that the album had been going through. This album's kind of had like a little concept running through it. Not really a concept, like a theme. And like the theme is like weirdness and whatnot, That whole like kind of theme is kind of like drawn out a little bit more on Bugs. And the song's about a bunch of bugs going into Eddie's house, and he's asking if he should befriend them or kill them or get them out. It's a really interesting song, and I really, really enjoy it for what it is, but it's not going to be a song that I'm going to come back to at all. Then we get number 10, which is Satan's Bed, which is, oh my gosh, this song is perfect. Oh my gosh, I love the song. This song is one of my favorites off this album. It's amazing. It's so catchy. It's one of the rockers on here. Kind of has a classic rock feel, actually, which is a very rare occurrence on this album and in a few other albums. It kind of has a classic rock feel, in my opinion. It kind of, very interesting subject matter. There's a lot of questionable lyrics on this thing, which I guess kind of adds to the charm of it. I really, really enjoy this album. I enjoy the album. The album's great, but this song is just very interesting. There's a lot of really interesting lyrics on here that is just interesting. And I also really like the picture on the bottom of the lyrics. I'm actually, if you hear any paper sounds, I'm flipping the booklet. But it's got like a bunch of people like linked together with like a chain, and there's like a heart necklace on the bottom. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Really, really good song. The chorus, already, da, 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 in love, da, da. One thing that I really like about this song, first of all, the chorus is catchy. Need to say that. Second of all, the time signatures on the chorus, which is really something I want to talk about. It's on a count of 5, so it's da 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 da, and it doesn't really have a 4-beat or an 8-beat. It's just kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's a really weird time signature. So it's like da 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 da, already da da da, in love, and it kind of throws you off, and it kind of gets the rhythm, It's really interesting. I really, really enjoy it. It's really, really, oh my god, song's great. At the beginning, you get some whipping sounds, which is really weird. It's all on the right channel. You just hear like a bunch of whipping sounds. Whipping, like the song. yeah, it's really, really interesting. And then the this is definitely the song that I've come back to the most on this album. I just really, really enjoy it. Love the overall feel of this song, the concept, and everything. Definitely one of the songs that stood out to me. I'm definitely when I went to look at the track listing. Number 11, track 11, is the song Better Man, which is, again, one of the bigger singles from this album. They performed this at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, and a great performance there. Not one of my favorites on the album, but I will explain. I love the song. But I like the other version of it, the version with, that's just the guitar and the organ that is featured as the bonus tracks on the reissued editions of this album. I like it more. When that first chorus breaks in, she lies and says she's in love with him, and it's just like that little, like the organ rises and with Eddie's voice, and I wish that they would have like kept that as the song. I think it would have worked a little bit better. But in terms of just the way that it's placed on the album, I think it was a better choice to go into the band section at the end. And I do love the band section, especially at the end, which can't find a better man, and this kind of goes on with that, and I really, really enjoy it. But if I had to choose a version to listen to more, it'd definitely be the organ and guitar edition. So then we get into a little interlude track. Again, it's not really an interlude track, but it's an instrumental track. It's called Aida Venida. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but if I am, then congrats to me. Great song. A great interlude. It's definitely a really interesting interlude before we get into the last song, Immortality. Yeah, the only vocals in the song are Aida Venita, Aida Veneta. And that's all it is. In the booklet, though, it actually says it labels it as the song without words. And obviously the only words in the song are Aida Venida, right? Because I kind of got that one right. And then after that, we get to the last actual song on the album called Immortality. This song is a little bit controversial because some people think that it's about Kurt Cobain. And I can kind of see that in terms of the lyrics. Maybe it's about Kurt Cobain's suicide. And Eddie stated before that he didn't write the song about Kurt because Vitalogy came out about a month or two after Kurt Cobain died. So that's why people kind of speculated. But if you listen to the song in the context of that, and you kind of think about it in that way, it really pulls at your heartstrings. If you really listen to it and you think of it as a tribute from Eddie to Kurt, dude, it's really, really powerful. Really, really powerful, dude. It's not been one of my favorite songs on the album, not one that I've come back to a lot, but I definitely check it out every once in a while. It's great. I love I just love everything about it. And the last song, which is probably everyone's skip on this album, we get Stupid Mop, or the actual title, Hey Foxy Mop, Hey No Mama, That's Me. First of all, amazing title. Don't know where they pulled that from, but they did it. So yeah, this song is very reminiscent of the Beatles' Revolution Number 9, which it kind of makes sense considering that Eddie and the band, big fans of the Beatles, they've done a lot of covers of Beatles stuff. And, yeah, this song is very Revolution Number 90. There's a lot of similarities. First of all, if I had to choose one song to choose, which I don't like either of them that much, but if I had to choose one that I'd listen to more, Revolution Number 9, I just feel there's a lot more interesting things going on in Revolution Number 9, and I guess that song kind of takes the upper hand because, one, John Lennon is a master at avant-garde music, and, second of all, the Beatles, they had a lot more experience than Pearl Jam had at the time of making these sort of things. In fact, Pearl Jam barely did any of it until Vitalogy came along. And the song is very interesting. It's basically just a band jam, pretty much, but with a bunch of really weird, like, a girl talking, this audio of a girl talking. She starts talking at the beginning about, like, sexual love and stuff, and then it leads into her yelling at a broom. Calling it a stupid mop, and then randomly just repeating, Hey Foxy Mop, Hey No Mama, That's Me. Hey Foxy Mop, Hey No Mama, That's Me. Really, really weird, but it's mostly just about, the lyrics are just about a girl hating on the mop. And it's really, really long, too. It's like almost 8 minutes long, and it's actually shorter than Revolution Number 9. Revolution Number 9 is 8 minutes and 30-something seconds. Or maybe it's 20-something seconds, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. So that is pretty much my review of Vitalogy. I'm gonna do my ranking now. I have it all listed out right here. So yeah. So I'm gonna rank the songs I already have them ranked, so I'm not going to be ranking them separate, as I go, but I'm going to be ranking them right here. I'm listing them off. So, from least favorite to favorite, here we go. Number 14, Stupid Mop. Number 13, Pry 2. Number 12, Aida Vanita. Number 11, Bugs. Number 10, Not For You. Number 9, Corduroy. Number 8, Immortality. Number 7, Better Man. Number 6, Last Exit. Number 5, Tremor Christ. Number 4, Whipping. Number 3, Spin the Black Circle. Number 2, Nothing Man. And number 1, Satan's Bed. Ooh, Satan's Bed. That's gotta be my favorite Pearl Jam song. Either that or Rearview Mirror. Because, dude, that's such a good song. So, I'm gonna give Vitalogy a 9 out of 10. Great album. Y'all should definitely listen to it if you're a fan of grunge or, Pearl Jam. And if you've heard it and you want to come back to it, definitely do that now. So, yeah. That's pretty much going to wrap up my album review of Vitalogy. Make sure to look out for some of the future episodes coming in Season 1. We're almost done with the season. There should be 30 episodes in the season, and we are at episode 25, I'm pretty sure, which is insane. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for listening and supporting and listening to the podcast. Really appreciate it. And, yeah, we're going to have a few more guests on, at least 1 or 2 more guests coming up in this season if I can. And, yeah, see you guys next time. Peace out.